Welcome to Moab. Considering a move to Moab, this iconic desert town offers incredible scenery and a unique lifestyle, but is it the right fit for you? In this video, I'm going to explore the top 5 pros and cons of living in Moab, Utah. Oh, and stick around to the end. I'll throw in a bonus pro that just might seal a deal for you in your decision to move to Moab, Utah. Okay, my pro number 1 has to be the access to all the amazing national parks that are so close to Moab. Of course, you have the world-renowned Arches National Park. What an amazing park that is with its Delicate Arch. Absolutely 10 out of 10 recommend the hike to Delicate Arch, but there are so many other beautiful arches that you can explore in that park, like Landscape Arch, just so many other places. You got to check it out, but don't let Canyonlands fool you either. What a beautiful place that is. Incredible scenery, beautiful red rock canyons to check out. You've got those national parks that are just in the backyard of Moab. The entrance to Arches National Park is probably about 5 minutes from Moab. It's super close. You're probably about 25 minutes or so over to Canyonlands, a little bit further away, but man, the access is amazing. Okay, now when it comes to Utah's other iconic national parks, Moab's a pretty good location if you want to go visit those places too. So Bryce Canyon National Park is about 270 miles away, so it's about a 4.5-hour trip to get over to Bryce Canyon from Moab. Capitol Reef is about 145 miles, so that's probably about a 2.5-hour drive down to Capitol Reef. That's some more amazing red rock country, beautiful canyons, also close to some other canyons outside of Capitol Reef, like the Calf Creek Falls hike. What a beautiful hike that is. And then Utah's most popular national park, Zion National Park, is also about a 4-hour drive from Moab. It's around 230 miles from Moab. But you know, if you like other national parks, you're not that far away from the Grand Canyon National Park, about 5 to 6 hour drive to the north rim of the Grand Canyon from here. And one of my other favorite national parks would be the Mesa Verde National Park. From Moab, you're about a 2.5-hour drive down to the Mesa Verde National Park in Colorado. You know, it's approximately about 120 miles from Moab down into that area. So Moab is just so close to some of America's most amazing national parks. Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Scott Walters with Best USA Realty. I am your Utah YouTubing realtor, and I dive into what it's like living, eating, sleeping, playing in Utah and all the beautiful cities and communities this beautiful state has to offer. Today, I am in Moab, Utah. And if you're considering moving here or any other place in Utah, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'd absolutely love to help you. All right, so another con here to Moab is just limited housing availability, which causes an affordability issue. There's not a lot of construction going on in Moab. There's some, but because of that, home prices can tend to be higher here, which makes the cost of living a little more unaffordable for people. When housing prices are so high, rental prices tend to be pretty high as well. There's certainly quite a few short-term rental properties here, which also limits the available housing supply. So, and also just the remote location causes the affordability here in Moab to be a little more, because you know, you've got to truck all the groceries and everything else are coming in from a much further distance away. So just one con is it's a little less affordable living here in Moab compared to if you're living somewhere like along the Wasatch Front. Okay, my next pro, well, that's that right there behind me. Check out those red rocks. Moab is absolutely known for its iconic scenery, the beautiful red rocks, and of course Just check this out. I'm on a bridge just overlooking the Colorado River and these beautiful Red Rock canyons. But you know, just behind these beautiful red rocks is the amazing La Salle mountain range. So you go from desert red rocks all the way up to high alpine mountains with pine trees and quaking aspens, all within minutes of Moab. So that just makes living here amazing just for the scenery alone. With that scenery just comes amazing outdoor lifestyle. Of course, people come here from all over to mountain bike. You've got the Slick Rock Trail up there on the Sand Flats recreation area. They got the Klondike trails just north of town, and there's too many trails to even mention. There's just so many mountain biking opportunities around the Moab area. Again, people come from all over to enjoy those. I saw people all over up when we went up to Canyonlands yesterday. There are vans with bikes up every inch of that area out there mountain biking. So pretty dang cool for that. It's also a pretty nice place for road biking. They've got these trails like that I'm on right now. People enjoy hopping on their road bikes and taking a nice stroll around this beautiful scenery. Of course, people come down here on their ATVs, their UTVs to enjoy jeeping on these red rocks. That's a very popular activity. Of course, there's camping all over. You have dispersed camping, but you've got camping all up and down the Colorado River. People come here to enjoy doing that as well. In fact, one of the more fun activities you can do here is the book a rafting trip. I've done that quite a few times with different youth groups and just enjoying hanging out on that beautiful Colorado River. So there you have it. That is my pro number 2, just the amazing scenery and outdoor activities to be had here in Moab. Okay, another issue when it comes to a con here in Moab is just there is a hospital, so you have health care here, but for those that might need more specialized care, you're probably going to end up making a trek all the way up to Utah County, which is about 3.5 hours to the Utah Valley Regional Medical Center from Moab, to receive more specialized care, a little further if you're heading on up to Salt Lake. And I'm assuming that's where you'd have to go if your approved providers are only good for the state of Utah. Then you're driving up to the Wasatch Front to get specialized care. If you're able to go out of state, well, then Grand Junction's about an hour and 45 minutes from Moab and a little bit closer, and some more medical options there in Grand Junction. But overall here in Moab, of course, you do have a hospital, medical clinics, but again, for specialized care, you're heading to the bigger cities. Okay, so my next pro has got to be the great weather. Now, it does get very hot in the summer, but the winters are quite mild. I'm here in April. It's a little chilly this morning, but you know, on my front lawn up along the Wasatch Front this morning, there's several inches of snow from a snowstorm. So when it's snowing along the Wasatch Front down here, it's just nice and beautiful, sunshiny skies. In fact, I remember coming down here one year when we were having a very strong inversion up along the Wasatch Front where you couldn't even see, 2 miles in front of you. Everything was just covered up with all that haze and gunk. Came down here to a leadership retreat, went up this Colorado River, up to the Red Cliffs Lodge that's up that river, and it was absolutely clear, beautiful sunshiny skies. And it's like that pretty much all the time down here in Moab. You have beautiful, clear skies to come enjoy. Moab's also known for being one of those dark sky cities, so you have beautiful night skies, beautiful starry nights that you can enjoy down here. Big, beautiful, clear, open skies. You don't have a lot of pollution down here. It's a smaller town, so the pollution, so there's not a lot of pollution, so it just keeps the skies really clear, really bright. According to the old interwebs, it says that Moab enjoys more than 250 days of sunshine annually, and I believe it. It's just always sunny and pretty darn beautiful down here in Moab. Okay, another con that people don't think about often when they consider moving to Moab is just the seasonal impact of tourism. Summertime is unusually crazy down here in Moab. You have so many people coming to check out the national parks with the Arches National Parks and Canyonlands, but also you have this, the Slick Rock Trail and all the other ATV trails and bike trails, and just all the outdoor stuff that people come to Moab to enjoy really boost that tourism here, particularly in the summertime. I'm actually here during spring break. It's also pretty busy during spring break. A lot of people down here enjoying the Moab area with all the red rock scenery and just all the outdoor stuff you can do. So just be aware, there's going to be some seasonal tourism, which will make the downtown Main Street area pretty busy, especially at nighttime. That place just lights up and the tourists come out and walk up and down the shops and just enjoy being here in Moab. So just be aware of that. With that, increased tourism brings extra noise, which the locals do not like. They do have ordinances here to try to bring the noise down. A lot of people come down here with their fancy ATVs, with really noisy exhaust. So those things have been, there has been local ordinances put on those to try to keep that noise down for the locals. But just know you're going to have more traffic and more noise in those peak tourist times. All right, my final pro has got to be that downtown shopping district of Moab. It gets pretty darn busy at night. You got all the tourists coming out and going up and down the shops, but there's just so many fun shops to go in and out of to buy souvenirs, even fancy artwork, local artisans artwork along that main street. So that's a pretty fun thing to do. Along that downtown area, you've got it's lined with unique shops. You've got art galleries, and you've got boutiques that offer local crafts, outdoor gear, and souvenirs. Definitely reflects the town's artistic and adventurous spirit. Now Moab also has other festivals and cultural events that take place here. You have the Moab Music Festival, the Moab Art Walk. They also have the Moab Folk Festival that just fosters a cultural diversity. So there you have it. There's my quick and my last pros. It's just a beautiful cultural scene here in Moab, along with some really fun shops to go visit along the main street in Moab. Okay, so just know that in Moab, it gets really hot in the summer. So that's my next con, is it just gets super hot. You can have some pretty extreme weather conditions with the hot, and sometimes you even have crazy flash floods that will flood out the area. Last year they had some really crazy rains and flash floods that caused some havoc in town. But overall, I think the biggest con when it comes to weather and weather-related issues here in Moab is just the heat. In the summertime, you're going to be well over 100 degrees for many, many days in a row. Makes it pretty unbearable being outside during those super hot times of the day. Now, although it gets super hot in the summer, you can actually experience some cold in the winter. In fact, we had a little bit of hail yesterday here, a late spring storm. I've driven up the Colorado River in the winter and seen ice chunks floating down the river, so you can deal with some ice and some cold here in the Moab area, but generally speaking, it's much more mild than the Wasatch Front winters. All right, I'm going to talk about another pro to Moab. A lot of people don't talk about, but they have wonderful city parks. I'm here kind of at the main city park. There's the rec center off in the distance behind me in the pool area. It looks like they're kind of revamping the pool. Great place to go. A beautiful rec center, all the amenities you want. There's also a skate park. My son's had a lot of fun hanging out on that skate park, enjoying that. But yeah, they have wonderful city parks. But also, one of the things that's cool about Moab is actually pretty close to some very unique state parks. You're only about 25 minutes away to the Dead Horse Point State Park. Really cool, very scenic overlook as the Colorado River goes around a really dramatic bend. Very picturesque. A lot of people love coming there and taking photos of that. But also, if you want a little more fun with state parks, you're about probably, I'd say, an hour and a half away, maybe a little longer, to the Goblin Valley State Park. What a unique park that is, with all its hoodoos and just goblin-like formations. That's a really cool state park to go enjoy. But they've also got a little waterfall just right outside of town that you can hike up to. Doesn't take very long. You got the Sand Flats Recreation Area just above town. That's where the world famous Slick Rock Trail is, the mountain biking trail, and I've done that before and about killed me, but it was fun. Beautiful views overlooking the Colorado River, absolutely amazing. That's where a lot of people come in and do their jeeping and the driving their their ATVs along the Red Rocks. And one other thing to think about, Moab's not that far away as well to Lake Powell. If you want to go down to southern Utah, enjoy that massive lake down on southern end of Utah, you're about a 2.5 hour drive from Moab to get to the Lake Powell area. So that's a really another cool thing you can do. I think it's just Moab is very centrally located to a lot of great outdoor recreation, including some really cool state parks as well as some wonderful city parks. One thing that's really cool about Goblin Valley, besides Goblin Valley, right close by that is the Little Wild Horse Slot Canyon. What a beautiful slot canyon. Utah's known for having a high concentration of slot canyons. That's a really close, easy one to get to, really near the Goblin Valley State Park. Okay, my next con has to do with limited services. This is one of the few grocery stores here in Moab. This is probably the biggest grocery store. There's a few other places where you can get groceries, but overall, when it comes to the big city amenities, there's not a lot of that here. You don't have any of the big box stores. In fact, the closest metropolitan area would be Grand Junction, Colorado, about an hour and 42 minutes away from here. That's where you'll find bigger stores. You don't have any Costco's, Walmart's, any of the big shopping stuff here in Moab. No malls, of course, nothing like that. There are a few movie theaters, where there's a movie theater in town, but as far as entertainment that way, it's very limited because Moab's a smaller town. It's quite isolated. It's on the southeast corner. Well, it's in the southeast part of Utah, and it's about 3 hours away from the Wasatch Front, which is the more heavily populated part of Utah. So it's quite a ways away from all the metro areas of Utah, which again limits it on the different amenities that you can have. You know, it is a tourist town, so they definitely have different dining options here. You will not see a lot of the chain restaurants down this way, but there's a lot of kind of homegrown restaurants. You got Papa J's, which you got the Blue Pig barbecue joint. I mean, just a lot of eclectic eateries here in Moab, but not a lot of the chain stuff because it's just a small town. One other thing that can be an issue here too is that you can have limited internet and cell service, particularly once you get outside of Moab itself, because it's just really remote. There's just while we were up at Arches and also at the Canyonlands, we had very spotty service in those areas, and those are not very far away from downtown Moab. Also, when it comes to public transportation, which is an amenity that a lot of people like with bigger cities, very limited here in Moab. You'll definitely need a car to get around. Okay, here's my bonus pro. I alluded to it a little bit in some of my other pros, but that is the world-class off-roading that is offered here in Moab. They've got the, of course, you have the famous trails like Hell's Revenge and Fins and Things. I mean, Moab just offers some of the best off-roading in the world. You have the annual Jeep Safari, so Moab hosts the world-famous Easter Jeep Safari. So next weekend, this place is going to be extra crowded. That's kind of part of the seasonal crowds that I talked about in my con section with Moab. Next week is going to be crazy with it being Easter next week, but that's going to attract off-road enthusiasts from all over the world. They're going to come here to enjoy their Jeeps driving all over this country, or all over this region. Now there's also countless off-highway vehicle trails for side-by-sides and dirt bikes all throughout the Moab region. So if you love doing off-roading in your ATV, Moab is the place for you. All right, guys, Moab is an outdoor lover's paradise. So if you're thinking of making a move to Moab or any other part of Utah, reach out to me. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, and I would absolutely love for you to comment buyer's guide down below in the comment section, and I will send over my buyer's guide video to you where I talk everything about what it's like writing up the offer, doing the inspections, doing the due diligence timelines, all the way up to the closing table. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap on the notification bell so you can stay current every time I drop another video about living in Utah. And also, if you found this video helpful, you might also enjoy the things they don't tell you about moving to Utah video, and you can watch that by clicking on somewhere up here. And with that, we'll catch you on the next video.